Looks like I'm live. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay? Just want to make sure that my audio is okay. I'm pretty sure the visual is okay, but I'm not sure. I have it on my headphones and I don't know if that's working. Hello. Stephanie's here. Hi, Stephanie. Hopefully this is working. Okay, I've never done this before. So if I'm kind of struggling, you'll know why. Let's see. Hi, thank you. My technical birthday is Tuesday. Oh, good. Everyone can hear me. Great. My technical birthday is Tuesday, but tomorrow's my husband's day off. And we're going to Knoxville, Tennessee, which is like 2 hours from us. And we're going to go book shopping. We're going to McKay's, which we went to in my vacation reading vlog. If you saw that, we're doing that. And I'm so excited. I've been like, when can we go back? So we're going for my birthday tomorrow. So I'm excited. Lisa, hi. Hello, I am always ready to read. I love reading sprints too. Never done it here before, but I've been on other people's channels. Hi, Rainy. Yay. There's so many people here. This is so exciting. I'm always worried, am I gonna plan this thing and no one's gonna show up? Krista, hi. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Joanna and Christy, my K-drama buddies, are all here. Oh, Chantel's here too. We have multiple countries here now. Oh, that's so awesome. Yay. I'm still figuring this out, so I'm sorry, guys. If I'm a little slow. Oh, that's so sad. I didn't know that they had a location in Virginia. I didn't know. So, I've just discovered the beauty of McKay's and it's wonderful. It makes me so very happy. I can't wait to go back. And my daughter just got a Nintendo Switch for her birthday last month, and they have Nintendo Switch games there too. So we'll probably look at those as well. But we couldn't do it last time because she didn't get her Switch until a couple days afterwards. So it totally would have ruined the surprise. Let's see who else is here. Hi, Amanda. Good to see you. And Kayla's here. Hi, Kayla. Thank you. Thank you. And Becky. Hi, Becky. I'm so glad you're here. Goodness. Oh, 2 hours away. So is it in North Carolina somewhere then, maybe? Because we almost, there's one in Greensboro, North Carolina, which we weren't that far from, but we had to drive the way home from North Carolina all in one day. Whereas on the way there, we took it in 2 days. We stopped in Virginia part of the way through, and I got to meet Joanna, which was awesome. It's fun to meet internet friends in real life. So, and that's when we stayed in our Hobbit hole too, if you saw that reading vlog. So, but then on the way back, we kind of crunched for time. So I think it was 9 or 10 hours back. So we had to drive straight through. So, oh well. Would have been fun to hit them both up though. That would have been cool. Thank you. In Northern Virginia. Okay, okay, okay. Interesting. Hi, Alyssa. Fixer upper. Oh, you're reading The Turn of the Key. I've heard that that's kinda based on The Turn of the Screw by Henry James, and as short as that short story is, I have never made it through it. It's on my read list for this year, and I even did it for the BookTube spin and still haven't gotten to it, so I think there's a good chance I'm just gonna get rid of it, but the Ruth Ware is probably easier to read than Henry James because I just really struggled with that one for some reason. So, what's everyone else reading tonight? Be curious to see. I'm gonna go through these comments first before I show what I'm gonna read. Thank you. I like how you say to ye. That's awesome. Oops, I think I put that on. Yes, The Hobbit Hole was amazing. Oh my gosh, it was really cool. Joanna actually recommended it to us. We saw that she stayed there, and then we planned it as a surprise for Claire's birthday. So that was really, really fun. Let's see. What else we got here? Oh no, tornado watch. Stay safe. I hope that nothing else happens. Oh, that you don't lose power and that there's not actually a tornado because that's the worst. Let's see. So Rainey's reading a cozy mystery. I think Alyssa's kind of counts more thriller, right? Ruth Ware is kind of more of a thriller than just your average mystery. To Win a Prince. I don't know that one. I'm glad you're saying it's amazing. That's good that it's something that you're enjoying. Shadows of Self. That's not that's not Mistborn, is it? Or is that a different Shadows book for Mistborn Era 2? I don't know. I never read Era 2, so eventually I want to get to it, especially since the new book comes out this year. But The Calculating Stars, I knew you were reading that one. What do you think of it so far? Because I've heard good things about it. Oh, that's funny. You're reading The Hobbit. We were just talking about A Hobbit Hole. That's one of my daughter's favorite books. I prefer the Lord of the Rings trilogy more than I like The Hobbit, but I do still love The Hobbit, and staying in A Hobbit Hole was amazing. We had a literature fair for our homeschool group last fall, and the book that she chose was The Hobbit, and so it's a favorite, especially the chapter. Have you gotten to the chapter Riddles in the Dark yet, Stephanie? Because that's her favorite chapter. She just reads it all over and over and over. Can you forgive her? I have not read any Trollope yet. I am reading The Warden with Amy from Amy of Hearth Ridge for Victober. So there's a little Victober TBR spoiler for you that I will be reading my first Trollope in Victober this year. So that's exciting. Heard good things. Let's see. Map of Stories. The third page is in Kobook. I haven't even read the first one yet. I've heard it's so good. My daughter really liked it. True Biz. Interesting. Yeah, you are gonna get a lot done. You're cleaning too? Awesome. Good for you. You're so productive. I'm really excited about my birthday plans. We'll probably go out to eat too, but I don't probably Chipotle. I don't know. I know that's not a super fancy birthday place, but I love Chipotle and we don't have one. Closest one is like 2 hours from us. So I'm excited. Ooh, you're reading Moby Dick. What do you think so far? Because I think I'm gonna put that on my classics TBR for next year and finally like tackle that beast because it scares me just a little bit. I've heard some people say it's boring, and then I've heard some people say that it's really good. Sandy from Miss Reads a Lot read it earlier this year, and she said that some of the whaling parts were really long, but like the actual story and the character development was great, and she really liked it. So Lamb to the Slaughter. Nothing like procrastination. I'm here to help you be productive in preparing for your class tomorrow morning. I've never even heard of that. Is that like more of an adult story maybe? Because I don't know, it sounds like not a child's story. First Peter commentary, good choice. Chinese Cinderella, the true story of an unwanted daughter. That's intriguing. I've never heard of that. Let's see. When We Were Bright and Beautiful. Who wrote that? I feel like I know that title. It's weird. Ah, all right. Christy's reading The Name of the Rose. I hope you're still enjoying it, Christy. What Korean song are you learning? Is it a Korean song or is it a K-pop song? Inquiring minds want to know. Let's see. Oh, it's Mistborn era too. That's I thought it might be, but then I was like, is it Shadow something else? I couldn't remember. Oh, yeah, I knew you weren't a big Lord of the Rings fan, Krista. It's okay. It's okay. I love you anyway. Oh, it is battle heavy, so if you don't like that, there's a lot of it. Of the Fairy Queen. Oh, you're reading some interesting stuff. Have you already started War and Peace? I read that earlier this year, which you may or may not know. Stephanie and I read it together, actually. But the Fairy Queen is intimidating to me. I've heard Pickwick Papers is fun. I haven't read it. I do own it though. So. Oh, you just finished Riddles in the Dark. Okay. I didn't want to spoil it for you if you hadn't read it, but that is just like that's my daughter's favorite chapter, and she just opens the book and reads that chapter over and over again. She has all the riddles memorized, and she quoted them all for her literature fair project last fall. She loves them. Oh, it's cozy. I have no idea what it's about. I don't really know what to expect with Trollope, but I've heard good things about him from a lot of people, and it's really weird that I haven't read anything by him because Victorian literature is probably my favorite subgenre of classic literature, that and like Russian literature. And so it's really weird that I haven't read any Trollope, and I hadn't even heard of him until I joined BookTube, which you'd think that I would have, but I didn't. So you're liking it, but it's a slow. For me, it's that way sometimes too. Like I can't even say why. Like, just is. Let's see. Becky says she's reading Anne Cleeve's The Seagull and The Librarian of Boone Hollow. Librarian of Boone Hollow sounds interesting. I don't know. That's an intriguing title. I've never heard of either of that though, so that's cool. I love it because I get book recommendations too with this kind of stuff. So it's fun to hear what everyone's reading. See, Kayla is reading The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. I've heard of Riley Sager. Haven't read anything by him yet. I think Riley Sager is a him, right? I'm pretty sure. Riley can be a boy name or a girl name, so wasn't sure. Okay, is Barchester Towers like the best? Is that your favorite one in the series, Lisa? Let's see. Sparks like stars. Ooh, well, hopefully you will finish it tonight. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's nonfiction elements because it's usually like the history of whaling or the chapters that are all about whales in general that kind of trip people up, which I really like ocean life. So I think I would like that part, but maybe the actual whaling process. I don't know. Oh, Stephanie, I didn't realize that you liked it so much. I feel like I should have known that, but I didn't. So that's cool. Oh, okay. Jillian Mendel. Okay. Victoria, hi. There's so many cool people here. It's making me so happy. I keep losing my place in these comments, though. That's why I'm slow, in case anyone's wondering. Still learning. Hi, Tammy. I'm so glad you're here. We just got started not that long ago. We're still chatting about what we're reading. I didn't even share what I'm reading yet. Geez. Okay, was just wondering. Just wondering, because sometimes you listen to traditional Korean stuff too, just for fun. So, well, I guess maybe it's a little less fun than K-pop, though. Oh, you're reading the Pickwick Papers. Fun. I'd try to join you because I love reading Dickens with you, but I already have 4 buddy reads for October, so I need to not plan anything else. I'm gonna overwhelm myself. Gatland, is that the sequel to Vicious? Maybe? Maybe it's not. I liked Vicious. It's the only V.E. Schwab I've read that I've actually really, really liked. The rest of them have just kind of been miss for me. Book 11. Ooh, you're making good progress. Cool, cool, cool. I enjoyed War and Peace. It was tough, but I'm glad that I read it. I think I'd like to read it with a little bit more historical context next time. I'm finding that I'm reading so many books where Napoleon is mentioned all the time. Obviously, War and Peace, that's like a huge thing. But right now I'm reading, I'll show what I'm reading tonight. I'm reading Vanity Fair, and Napoleon's mentioned in here with battles and stuff, which I thought was really, I wasn't expecting that. I didn't think it was going to get into any battle scenes, or it doesn't get into battle scenes, but there's some people who are in the military, so that's why. And the other book that I'm reading is Keeper of the Lost Cities Legacy. This is book 8. I'm like halfway, my directions are off on this, halfway through this. I know about like a third of the way through Vanity Fair, I think. So let's see. Okay, that sounds really good. Is it like, is that the same author who did The Troublesome Woman of Book, what is it? Troublesome Woman of, I want to say Book Creek, and that's not right. You guys probably know what I'm talking about though, because it's made the rounds on BookTube. I love how you haven't read it, but you're teaching it tomorrow. That's really fun. I will be very curious to hear what you think and kind of like what the vibe is. Hi, Betty. I'm glad you're here. Yes, it is a lot. Last year I think I planned to read like 4 books in October and got overwhelmed and just did not get through. I only think I got through like one of them. I think it's gonna be better this year because one of them's a short story collection. One of them I plan to listen to exclusively on audio, and it's my second time reading it. So I think that will help. And then one is a Dickens and one is a Trollope. I won't spoil you too much for my TBR whenever that comes out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's perfect for Victober. I am enjoying Vanity Fair. It's a lot funnier than I was expecting because I really didn't have much of an expectation going in. I didn't really know what it was about, except for that the characters were really unlikable, and that's pretty much all I know. So, and they are, but I am enjoying it so far. It has made me laugh out loud quite a few times. It's also my current audiobook. So, I don't know. Did my camera like totally freeze? I don't know. It looks like it froze on here, but I don't know if it did. So I'm just going to keep talking and hope for the best. Okay, I'm adjusting my camera. Maybe that will help. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Maybe my audio is still working. Oh. Oh, good. You can still hear me. Well, that's good. It'll go through. Oh, it did. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm good. All right. Great. Okay. I'm glad you could still hear me. That makes me feel a little bit better. Okay. So Crystal is rereading Twilight and you're annotating it. Cool. I love to reread books that I love and annotate them. I'm really not good at annotating though. Just keeping it real. I sometimes do.
it kind of depends, and I don't know why, because I loved like the picture of Dorian Gray, and I felt like every single character in that was supremely unlikable. And I really felt like all the characters in V.E. Schwab's Vicious were not very likable, but I liked that one as well. Vanity Fair, I am finding some of the characters likable. I do think that the author kind of thinks that a lot of women are quite manipulative. And so that's kind of why he's writing some of them the way that he is. So the main character is kind of well, there's kind of two main characters, and one of them is one of the girls is very manipulative, and the other one is not. So she's um, a lot more likable. So that makes it a little easier, I guess. Let's see. Okay, it's a standalone. Okay, can't. I knew it was a newer one by her. I think her sequel to Vicious is something else. I liked The Night Gardener, and I'm not big on spooky, but I did like The Night Gardener. Vengeful. Okay, I should have known it would have started with the same letter. That kind of makes sense. Did you like Vengeful too? Was it like worth reading? Because I was kind of fine with how Vicious ended. Didn't feel like, I mean, it left it open for a sequel, but I wasn't like chomping at the bit to read the sequel, if that makes sense. I was afraid authors are gonna ruin sequels sometimes with certain authors, I guess. Certain authors I trust, like Brandon Sanderson, but other authors, until I know them, I'm afraid they're gonna ruin it. And I don't have a wonderful track record with V.E. Schwab, unfortunately. I think I've read like 3 or 4 of her books, and just not have a hard time connecting with her characters most of the time. So, all right. Well, I'm trying to decide. Maybe it's about time to start a sprint. Maybe sounds like uh, sounds like a good time. Maybe to start a sprint. So I'm thinking maybe like I don't know, maybe like 30 minutes or something, because that helps me get my brain engaged. Krista can do like 15-minute sprints, and like it takes me a second to quiet my brain and zone in. I don't know if 30 minutes is too long for you guys. Let me know if it is, because I can make it shorter. You liked Vicious more than Vengeful. Okay. Okay. That's fair. Yeah, maybe that's for me in my case too, I think. Because I've just struggled. Um and I don't know really what it is. I don't know if it's her writing style or I'm not really sure, but I just haven't been able to just love it, unfortunately. 30 minutes is good. Oh yeah, look at Krista. She'll still read for 15 minutes. I'm always so impressed. Krista can just like get zone right in. So I love it. All right. Well, let's see. I could be like Krista and just like end at a weird time because Krista is really, really great at that. She's like, well, she's always has one. Like sometimes she'll have it where it's like at the 5 or the 0 or whatever, but then she always has at least one where she's like, we're gonna end at like 32 or you know, something like that. I love it. It makes me happy because I'm not someone that's like super particular about that kind of stuff. Some I do, but not always because this is not that book right now. Vanity Fair is requiring a little bit more thought for me. So, Jessica, I'm so happy you're here. Yay, and thank you. Thank you, thank you. You're so sweet. Yeah, Rainy knows. Rainy's on those. She enjoys causing the chaos. Definitely. Doesn't bother me. So, all right. Well, it's 55 right now. So how about we start sprinting and we'll come back at 7:25. That sounds good. I'm gonna create a banner for the first time. Hopefully it works out. And I'll try to come back as nicely as Krista does, but no promises. She's a sweet voice. Like, welcome, friends. I love it. Okay. There we go. It's on there. All right. So let's sprint, and I'll see you back at 25. Hello. We're back. How did everyone do? Looks like we had some people sneak in who were reading. Hi, Dia. And thank you. And yay, Penny's here. Hi, Penny. Oh, Dia, I'm looking forward to that video. I think that's going to be a good one. Hey, Naomi. I'm glad you could make it. Oh, no. Oh, that's not a very good start to reading sprints. I'm sorry. I didn't join in the You've Got Mail readathon because I still have never even seen You've Got Mail. I know. I hope we can still be friends, Chantel. Hi, Kelly. Glad you made it. A spider poster for school, or like a decoration for her room for Halloween or something. Hello, hello. Glad to have you here. I have not read The Guncle. I've heard a couple of people say that they really liked it. 28 pages. You're such a fast reader, Stephanie. I'm so impressed. Ooh, Grapes of Wrath. I remember really liking that one, but I don't think I've reread it since like high school. I think that was the last time I read that one. I do own it, so I need to pick it up again at some point. I think the only John Steinbeck that I have read multiple times, I think, is East of Eden. Although actually, that's not true. I think I've read Of Mice and Men a few times too, and I've read some other of his like once, but not multiple ones. Let's see. Rainy read almost 3 chapters. It's only 10 pages. My chapters were kind of long. I read 2 chapters of Vanity Fair, and I think it was 20, some in between 20 and 30 pages. I don't know exactly how many. Amy, that's your name. That's right. Thank you for reminding me because I recognized your channel name, but sometimes it's hard to remember those names. That's why I always, like, when I'm on other people's lives and stuff, I always like put my name on there and my channel name. So you weren't a fan of the Calculating Stars. I don't really know much about it. I just have heard some people like it. I think I've heard some positive buzz. I don't know. Productive as usual, Krista. Eatable cereal. What type of cereal? Where are you going later this week? I missed that. Unless you didn't even mention it. 14 pages. Woohoo. 30 pages. Glad you're enjoying it. That makes me think maybe I would want to give it a try at some point because that's kind of, this is more the season where I would want to try that. Only 4 chapters left. That's awesome. Oh, did it even show up? There you go. You guys are so patient with me as I'm figuring all the things out. It's exciting. That's a lot of progress. Let's see. Naomi is reading The Christmas Murder Game. It comes out in October. I haven't heard of that, but it's probably because it hasn't come out. I'm really bad with like keeping track of like what's coming out unless it's part of a series that I'm already reading. Like I know there's a new Mistborn book coming out. I know there's a new Red Rising book coming out. I know there's a new like Keep Your Lost Cities book coming out. And that's about it. That's about all I've paid attention for. Oh, that's so fun. Good for you, Mama, for keeping it positive because I am not a big spider person either. I'm not like totally terrified of them, but I'm not a fan. Thankfully, my daughter isn't either, but she is a fan of snakes. which I don't mind snakes. They're fine. But my mom, she wanted a snake one year for Christmas. She wanted either a snake or a hamster, which is hilarious because the snake could eat the hamster. We ended up getting her a hamster. That was a couple of years ago. But my mom was like, if you get her a snake, I'm not coming to visit you in your house. I'm like, okay. Like, I thought she was kidding. She's like, no, I'm serious. Like, she's that horrified of snakes. She would not set foot in a house willingly where she knew that there was a snake that lived there. Um, let's see. I know. I am also shocked. I'm really bad about watching movies though, just in general. Like if it wasn't one that I watched way back when, I haven't even seen that many new movies. I don't know. I'm just not a big movie person, I guess. Which I know Chantel isn't either, but Chantel loves You Got Mail, and I've heard that it's very bookish. So I probably do need to get to it at some point. Picked out your next song to learn. Oh my gosh. I love that song. I love that song. What's for dinner, Christy? Christy's always making good food. Yes, I like them both too. I think East of Eden is very masterful, but the last time that I read it, I was not in a good place mentally to read it, I don't think. And parts of it just bothered me that I normally didn't. And so I haven't really had a desire to reread it, but the ending of it really makes it for me. And it's just like very powerful, I think. I think it's his best work, which I think most people feel that way. So, 3 chapters of Moby Dick. I didn't know that. I didn't know that's what Scaramouche. Is that how you say it? I've heard that word, but I didn't know what it meant. My computer's loading. Slow. Oh, that's right. I did know about that because you posted about it. That'll be so fun. I hope you guys have tons of people that show up to meet you. If I lived in Wisconsin, I totally would. I wonder if Daniel will show up. Doesn't Daniel live in Wisconsin? That would be cool. 23%. Woohoo. Okay, I'm excited to read this comment. Lamb to the Slaughter is a short story. Nice little twist at the end. A woman murdered her husband by hitting him with a frozen leg of lamb. That sounds amazing because that sounds like it's really got that classic like doll absurdity and hilarity. Okay, I wonder. I have. Do you have a book that it's in, or did you just like have just a copy of just that? Because I have a book that I recently found by him that was a collection of short stories that I've never heard of before. And I'm kind of wondering if that's in there. I'm gonna make a note right here because what's a live reading sprint if you're not making note on books that you want to check out? Because if I have that one, I'm really gonna want to read it because it sounds great. Rega. Oh, Claire is she has a hamster right now. She had one hamster that we got her a while ago that passed away before we moved here, and then we got our hamster like last summer after we moved here. So yes, we have a lot of animals in our house. For those of you who might not know, we have a hamster and 3 cats, 2 dogs. The second dog, is the newest addition to our family, and we were not planning on getting another dog, and he like got dumped basically, and he's wonderful. He's the best. So we're glad that we ended up with him because it wasn't planned. It's definitely from God. But yeah, her hamster's name is Paganini after her favorite composer. So I think that is hilarious. A hamster named Paganini. See, that makes me want to watch it more, knowing that you're not much of a movie person either. But it's a matter of actually being motivated. And I never watch anything by myself. Like I'm either watching it with Peter or Claire, and I don't know that Peter would care to watch it. So I don't know. Or I watch K dramas with friends. And that's about it. I really don't watch hardly anything else. And that's not even a movie. It's a TV show. Ooh, naan wraps. I just bought naan because I was gonna make veggie korma this week and I didn't get to it, so might make it probably Tuesday. So I love Indian food. It's my favorites. Mm, there's a fruit fly. Yes, yes. That's the only place I've heard Scaramouche before. It's Bohemian Rhapsody. I actually kind of didn't know it was a real word. I thought it was kind of like maybe a nonsense word. So, which maybe. Yes, yes, I am not current on any pop culture in the United States, but I know what's going on in Korea. Not really. But yeah, that is most of what I watch. I'm in the middle of two right now, two off screen. I'm watching one with my husband, and then I'm watching one with Christy and Joanna and Kate and Stephanie and Victoria, actually. It's booktube bonanza of K-drama. I love homemade naan. I use the recipe from Budget Bites, and it's so easy. A little time consuming, but so good. So good. I'm glad I'm not the only one who did not know what it meant. Did you think it was a nonsense word too? Well, okay. So if you Google the PDF, that means if it's not in my collection, then I could find a PDF and read it myself. Same. Oh no, I was gonna say same, but actually no. A couple weeks ago, I watched a Spider-Man movie. I can't remember which one it was, what the name of it is. It's the second one that has Tom Holland in it. I still haven't seen the newest one, and that's the one I want to watch. But our Netflix wasn't working. We were trying to watch a K-drama, and so we watched Spider-Man instead. And I didn't love it. I've heard good things about like the third one in the Tom Holland trilogy, and so I definitely want to watch that one, but I didn't love the second one. So actually, that is the last adult movie that I saw. But before that, can't even tell you when the last time was. Yes, I've been making it for years. It's so good. I had a friend who gave it to me. Katie, hi. How are you? Thanks for popping in. It's good to see you. Well, see you. I am not good at the directions. Everything's back. See you. There we go. Oh my goodness. Well, it sounds like everyone is enjoying the books that they're reading, which is great. Downton Abbey, Elvis, and Where the Crawdads Sing. I just got the book of Where the Crawdads Sing not that long ago. I watched the first episode of Downton Abbey and couldn't get into it. Didn't really like it very much. And maybe I should give it more of a chance. Because oftentimes pilot episodes maybe aren't the best, but just I don't know. They're long episodes too. It made it hard for me to invest my time. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. My husband loved the third one, and he's like, "You need to watch it." He's like, "You will cry," which I cry at everything, so it's not really surprising. It doesn't take much. We were watching what were we watching? Um, have you guys heard of that show Domino Masters? I think it's a newer show, and they build like these huge domino structures. And like the last episode, the people who won, Peter looks over at me and he's like, "Are you crying?" And I was like, "Maybe." It really doesn't take much. It doesn't take much, but that's okay. Glad you're doing well. Are you listening to the book or to the music? I have never read it. I had it at one point and then I didn't read it, so I ended up finally just getting rid of it. And now I have regrets. I get rid of that and Scarlet. What is it? Scarlet Pimpernel, is that it? I always want to say because Looney Tunes, they always said the Scarlet Pumpernickel, and so I always want to say that. So, ooh, okay. Well, you're making me feel a little better that you saw two and you weren't sold because I know that you're picky about shows as well. You're watching Rings of Power as a family. How is it? I am I'm really hesitant, honestly, because I've heard good stuff and bad stuff. And I don't know if the content would be too intense for Claire, although we have watched um the Lord of the Rings movies with her and she loved them. So it might be fine. So I don't know. The book. All right. How are you enjoying it so far? I love the musical as well. It was one that I was kind of like obsessed with in high school. So that's fun. All right. Thinking maybe we'll need to do another sprint in a few minutes. Like maybe at 45 to like 15. Does that sound good to everyone? That feels like a good idea. Has anyone else watched The Rings of Power? Because I'm curious, actually. I know Ryan from Seeking Stories that he and his wife have been posting stuff about it. I don't know. Cool, cool. I'll try to pick it up at some point, probably. It's probably on my TBR somewhere. That's good. Okay, that's good to know. Kind of like wait and see a lot of times with new shows, see what people think. Um, I know it's not supposed to be like the movies. That some of the characters are the same. I think that there's like what a young Galadriel and a young Elrond, maybe. Um, which young they're elves. So I don't know how far back this is going. I think it might be. Is it like Sauron origin stories? So it takes place well before the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So I think that they have the potential to do that without messing it up. I haven't read a lot of Tolkien other than Lord of the Rings. I've read like the appendixes, but I haven't even made it to Silmarillion. So I don't know. I wouldn't be upset because I am a purist when it comes to books and movies. I don't do well with adaptations when they change things that I feel like they don't need to, or they change a ton of it. So I like the movies too, even though actually those are not perfect. But I saw the movies and I don't know. I was able to let it go at that point. I've become worse the older I get and not being able to let things go. I think it annoys my family when they watch stuff with me. Oops, on it. Some of it was good, some was boring, some was annoying. Was it annoying because it was like plot differences or just annoying in general? Ah, okay. So maybe that's what Joanna's talking about too. Is that her character is annoying? That doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me that the Tolkien's, I don't know, family wouldn't just sign off the rights to that much stuff, especially since Peter Jackson did so much. I feel like you can't compete that well with that. Although I didn't like the Hobbit movies, it felt like too much of a cash grab for me, to be honest. Because I'm like, The Hobbit is shorter than any of the Lord of the Rings movies, and yet we get 3 movies for this. So I didn't love the Hobbit movies. And the CGI gave me a headache when I saw the first one in theaters. And I know there was CGI in other Lord of the Rings movies, but they had so much that were real sets and stuff. So it's better. Well, I know it won't have Vigo in it. I don't know if it have, probably wouldn't have Orlando Bloom in it. I think that it's like past his time. I mean, before his time. You know what I meant. You know what I meant. Another L. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It feels like they can force the romances. That's kind of how I felt in The Hobbit, which I didn't even see the movie that they introduced. I think it was an elf character. It was like Evangeline Lilly's character. And the only reason I know who she is because I loved Lost way back in the day. But anyways, her character didn't even exist, and they created her solely to have a love interest for one of the dwarves. And I was like, why though? Why? Does everything have to have a romance? I'm not that romantic, could you tell? Yes, that's exactly how I feel. Some people said that they were trying to fit some of the backstory stuff in, but I don't know. Still was not pleased with it. Just wasn't. Oh well. My husband liked them, but he's never read the books. So we've been listening, well, we were listening to some of the audiobooks on road trips. I mentioned this in one of my videos. Penny recommended the best audio dramatization ever of Lord of the Rings, and it was on Spotify in like podcast format. And it was stellar because it was an unabridged copy of it, but yet they had different voice actors for different characters, and they had music and sound effects from the movie, and it was unbelievable. Then they took them all off. And it was so annoying because we were halfway through the Two Towers and had to stop. I was so sad. I was very depressed. But they are re-releasing them, and I think that they took them off and they're re-releasing them one at a time because of the Rings of Power. I'm like, dang it. Yeah, I agree. Oh, I'm past the 45 point. We might as well just wait till 50 at this point. Oh, yay! Ooh, I just knocked something over if you heard a crash. That's good. That makes me very happy because it's the best. Like, it's so fun. I'm really enjoying that. Where did my banners go? Don't mind me, guys. I don't know what I did. Okay, found it. I'm typing it out. Hang on. And then I'll come back and check comments again. 50 would be what? 20? Yeah. I can do math. That's so good. Okay. I'm loving this Rings of Power conversation. That's not what I was expecting from this. Okay. Hi, Glinda. So glad you're here. We're about to start our second sprint, so you're not late or anything. Well, we still will have plenty of time. So we'll probably start at 50 and go for about 30 minutes. So we did last time, seemed to work well for everyone. I think I'm going to switch books though. So I read 2 chapters of Vanity Fair and it was fine, but my brain is tired. I have been up since 5:30 this morning because that's when the puppy gets me up. And so I'm going to switch to Keeper of the Lost Cities. The Windsor Knot. I love that. In honor of the Queen. Aw. Perfect time to read it for sure. So yeah, I think, which side? There we go. I'm really struggling with this mirrored image thing. I do when I'm on other people's lives too, though, because I always think I'm pointing to someone in the opposite direction than I am. So I think I'm going to switch to this. Like halfway through. My daughter's been bugging me to read this for forever because I read the first like 7 books. Book 9 comes out in November, and my daughter pre-ordered it with her Christmas money in like January. So she's not so patiently waiting for that because this is probably like her favorite fantasy series, possibly of all time. This, and she loves like the Warrior Cat series, and she loves Wings of Fire. But this one she has read over and over and over. She owns all the copies, and it's even read like she even has like an annotated copy of book 1 that the author annotated. I love it. It's so fun. All right. Well, it is 50. So I think we're gonna go ahead and sprint, and we will sprint until 20. So, see you guys back in just a little bit. Hello. Time to come back. How did everyone do? Had eventful sprints on my first bot on my first live. Exciting. Oh, Crystal's jumping in. Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet. That's the one I want to see. I've heard good things about that one. Oh, Chantel left us. You're probably already gone, Chantel, but thank you for coming. It's nice to have you here. Oh, I didn't know A1 was in the Ring of Power. It's kind of takes place before those events, so interesting. I know. I feel like, I should tell you the story because I think it's really funny. Claire's been telling people I'm famous because we went to the kickoff for our homeschool group, and one of the homeschool moms there, who I'd never talked to before, recognized me because she watches my channel. And I thought that was really funny because my channel's not that big for me to get recognized. I was like, I feel famous. So Claire's like, Mom, she'll be whistling. She's like, tell them how you're famous now. I'm like, I'm not actually famous. It's just really funny. Ooh, a bullet journal. I thought about bullet journaling tonight, but I didn't. Decided to read again. I haven't been reading lately as much as I would like to, so this has been a good motivator for me. Nice. That's still productive. It's fine. And vlogs take forever to edit anyway. Like, I love vlogs. Vlogs are some of my favorites, especially because I love watching them back. Like way later. Sometimes with my family, we'll just sit there and we'll watch like vlogs from like last summer, and we'll just watch the B-roll because it's really fun to look back on memories. It's really fun. Oh, you're so kind. You really shouldn't have. Oh, yeah, I agree. What was the name of the spot too? Something weird. I'm gonna scroll up and see. Chicken McFry. Mm, 3 chapters. Good job. It's good for you. For like, I mean, slow for you when you say you hoped for better, but faster than probably a lot of other people. Naomi is one of the fastest readers I know. Naomi and Chantel both are like crazy fast. And Stephanie. You 3 are like Wonder Women in your reading. Kind of freezy here, sorry. Whale anatomy and what the harvested teeth were used for. Interesting. I love audiobooks that are narrated by the author because you know that you're getting exactly how the author intended for the sentences to be said. So it's kind of fun. I'm not really famous. I don't have enough subscribers. Although it's kind of funny because speaking of celebrity YouTubers, I live really, really close to where Murphy Napier lives, who you guys have probably heard of. She's a really big booktuber. And the reason I know that is because she used to have a P.O. box in her description of her videos. And I live just really close to there. And so I'm always wondering, like, if I'm going to run into her at the library or different places. I actually ended up with a book of hers from a library book sale that she donated. And I know it was hers because it had a note from someone in the front like to her, like an Amazon gift receipt with a message, and I was like, oh, this is Murphy's book. So I'm always like hoping I'm gonna run into her. So she's much more of a celebrity than me. Like she has a lot of subscribers. Look at you. Rainey's really famous. So fun. Drops, yay. The Crowned Clown. It's a really funny title. I'm assuming it's Korean. Because that seems like it. Look at you. That's a lot of reading. You did really well. It's great. It made me laugh. So does that count? There's no gift receipt for your present, Christy. Well, that's still being productive, Kelly. So you're good. I did not get my steps in today. Long chapters. Both the books that I'm reading have long chapters. Keeper of the Lost Cities, I was really surprised how long the chapters in that one were, because my daughter kept waiting for me to get to chapter 12 because there's something that happened in chapter 12, and it took me forever to get there because they were so long. It was like, I think I was like 180 or 200 pages in once I finally hit chapter 12. So I think I read like 40 pages this past sprint though, because it's a middle grade. So yes. I love Murphy too. She's like my favorite big booktuber. I could listen to her talk about like any book, even if I don't like it. And I love her vlogs. Well, do people still recognize you? Because people are still recognizing you, then you're like legit famous. And I need your autograph because, I just do. I know the Rainy. Nice. Very productive. Yeah, I don't remember them being so long either, but it's been so long since I read book 7. Like I read book 7 last summer and then for some reason just didn't pick up book 8. It's not because I didn't like book 7. It's not because I wanted to quit. So I thought book 7 had like one of the best villains. I really enjoyed that. Although some of the angst in this book is getting to me a little bit, but at least to be fair, they waited till the characters were teenagers and we know the characters well, which is better than a book that's just like everything's angst all the time. But I think maybe it's meant to be one of those series that grows with the reader, kind of like Harry Potter did. But it's interesting because I'm like, wow, my 10-year-old read this when she was like 8. And it's so funny because she's so not romantic. So she's always like, I could skip all that part. I don't want that part. Just like the story. I'm like, same girl, same. Well, if you're still getting recognized at all 5 years later, then you're totally famous. I love that. Your big 15 minutes of fame. You go, girl. My big 15 minutes of fame wasn't even 15 minutes. It's just me getting recognized by a homeschool mom who apparently also likes books. Actually, it's really fun because she sat in front of me this week and I was talking to her a little bit. And I'm like, oh, that means we probably like the same type of books. A new book friend. So that was fun. She's not on here tonight. I don't think. I don't know if I've ever seen her comment, actually. Anyway, I should have brought in, and I forgot. My sister sent me some presents, and they're awesome. Well, I'm wearing the socks. I can show you the socks. They're both Edgar Allan Poe oriented, which is cool. Oh, Joanna's leaving. Thank you, friend. I'm so glad that you're here tonight. So fun. The best part of fame. That's actually my favorite part of BookTube in general, is all the friends that I've made. And you're all here hanging out with me. It's the best. Okay. So I'm wearing the socks, so I can show you the socks. Get Edgar Allan Poe in them, and then the bottom says like "Let It Poe" instead of "Let It Snow," and they're totally Christmas socks, but I'm wearing them now anyway. Then she bought me a shirt that has Edgar Allan Poe on it. I'm like, this is the best. I love it. And I got, maybe I've showed it on my channel at some point. I got for Christmas last year an Edgar Allan Poe mug. So it's really fun. I'm like, I'm totally gonna wear my Poe shirt with my Let It Poe socks and drink out of my Poe cup, and that is just gonna be cozy season, and I'm looking forward to it. I need to read some more Poe short stories. Kelly and I read a ton of them together last fall, but I did not read them all. I think Kelly read more than I did. So they're fun though. Yes, I do too. They're so soft and fuzzy. And it's kind of cold in this room, but I'm closest to the Wi-Fi in this room. So that's why I'm filming back here. This is probably not a location you've seen before. I've been on other people's channels and on Discord lives here. But I usually film in my library, but that is like one of the farthest rooms in the house away from the Wi-Fi. And I'm using a webcam instead of my laptop camera because my laptop camera is awful. So it's cold back here and the socks are nice. That was the point I was trying to make. Very roundabout way. They're so fun. Ah, yes, that's so fun that you have them too. We should totally read some more. Do you have some plans? Because I don't think we even read all the horror ones. And I think we read, did we read one of his satires or two? I don't remember. And I don't think we read anything from Flights and Fantasies. Because my collection is like a full collection. It has all his poems and short stories, and apparently a novella of his that I don't think I've read. I've read a lot of his poetry and a lot of his horror. I remember the satire that we read last year not being the best. I feel like he shines more in poetry and horror than he does. So, yeah. I'm sure there were some horror ones that we did not read. Thanks, Christy. I'm so glad you came. Shared your Korean with us and your dinner choices. Love you. Have a good night. Ah, goodness. Well, I guess it's getting late for some people like me. Trying to decide if we should do one more sprint or if we should call it quits. Let me know what you guys think. Oh, good. I marked them on Goodreads so I could find them, but didn't mark them in the book because that would have been too smart. I would love to read some more with you though. I do have a lot of October plans, but I'm sure I could do some. Oh, good. You guys want to do one more sprint? I kind of do too. Just wasn't sure if it was getting too late for some people. I can totally do one more sprint before my brain is toast. Actually, reading Keeper of the Lost Cities is wonderful. It's working really well for me because it's a lot easier to read than Vanity Fair, and I'm tired. So, but not too tired for another sprint. Okay, great. Yay! I'm so glad that you guys want to do another sprint. Oh, well, thank you for hanging out. One more sprint, but without Stephanie. I'm so glad that you came to hang out for my very first time doing a live. So now I'll feel ready if I need to do the North and South live show. I'll kind of know what I'm doing. Maybe a little bit. That is good. Oh, okay. So maybe. Oh, yes. So that's a good. I still haven't read Amari and the Night Brothers. It sounds so good though. Ah, is that book 2? Mario the Great Game. You go for it. You go for it. I used to be much more of a night owl, and then we got a puppy, and when he lets me sleep in, it's till like 6. So usually I'm up in the 5 to 5:30 range. Thank you, Lizzie. I'm glad you're here. We're still gonna do one more sprint if you want to hang out for a little bit. Okay, so we impromptu decided at the end of our Emma live show, like we have with every live show, we impromptu decided that Stephanie, Evie, Christy, Kate, and I are reading North and South during October, and we'll have Discord chat on the Literary Discourse Discord, and then we'll probably do a live show at the end of the month. So, oh, and it looks like Glenda's reading North and South too. Yes, it is. It is. Glenda, it is considered eligible for Victober because it is a Victorian novel. And also, if you're going by the prompts, it could work for a couple of the prompts. It would work for there's one that's like a chronic illness or disability, so it would work for that because there's a lot of illness in that book. It would also work for reading a book and then having watching an adaptation because there's a BBC miniseries which I've heard great things about, but I have not seen. And it might also count for a coming of age story because the main character, she's kind of like at the young adult age when the book starts and she matures. So I don't know if it counts as that or not, but it would count for several of those. So yeah, this will be my second read of North and South. I read it once 2 or 3 years ago and didn't love it, unfortunately. And don't even look at my rating on Goodreads because I'm ashamed of it because I feel like I should have loved it. Everyone loves Gaskell and I love Victorian literature and it's the only Gaskell I've read so far. But I went into it, everyone told me it was Pride and Prejudice, but better. And there are similarities in the romance with Pride and Prejudice, but other than that, I think it's totally different than Pride and Prejudice. So I'm going into it with different expectations this time, knowing that it's not like Pride and Prejudice. It doesn't have the humor. It is kind of, there is some class stuff going on there, but I feel like there's much deeper and more serious conversation happening there. And I think it's much deeper than Pride and Prejudice in a lot of ways. And I think I'll enjoy it more because I don't have that weird mindset going in, you know? Okay, it is book 2, Jacqueline. Thank you. Yay, Rainy. That will be fun. I don't know if you're on Discord very much, but either way, you can jump in on the live show. Yeah, if it's demo props. Yeah, no, I think that I was unfair because of my expectations. And the ending is a bit rushed, but that was not Gaskell's fault. It was a periodical, and they told her she needed to finish it like now. So the ending scene was a little less than I would have liked. But I'm going into it with tempered expectations this time, and I think I'll enjoy it more. I did a video not that long ago, I don't know, a month or 2 ago, about books that I would rate higher now in retrospect, and the rating that it is on Goodreads that I'm ashamed of. Even thinking back to it, I would not rate it that lowly now. So I have heard a lot of people saying that Wives and Daughters are their favorite. I know Kate Howe has. I think I'm going to try to read Wives and Daughters next year for October because I bought it this year. But it was just too thick with the other giant books I'm trying to read for my classics TBR this year. So I'm not going to get to it. North and South is much shorter. And I'm going to try to listen to it on audio because I have read it physically. And I used to not be an audiobook person at all. But since I got the dog and I walk him every morning, if I listen to an audiobook, I walk longer because I want to keep listening. So I am doing better at audiobooks because I can't do it when I'm doing housework or doing other things because I get too distracted and I can't focus on things. But when I'm walking, it's fine. There's not as much to focus on. I agree. I agree. And I think that with a reread, I probably still won't think it's better than Pride and Prejudice because I have a soft spot for Pride and Prejudice. And I love the humor in Pride and Prejudice, and North and South definitely doesn't have that. but it's still, I think, good. I've heard the adaptation is amazing. Amazing. So maybe that'll be my one that I watch the adaptation for. Maybe I could talk Peter into it. I don't know. Because we did watch some Victorian adaptations together last year. We watched The Woman in White and The Moonstone. I think something else. Probably. Yeah, it was. He's funny. That was a funny video. Yeah, I saw that. I have so many Victober plans and I'm not participating in that, unfortunately. And Victober's a lot. But Victober is my favorite because Victorian literature is my favorite. If you sorry, Katie, if you want some recommendations of shorter Victorian works, I can send you some if you want to participate, but no pressure because I feel like there's a pressure once you join BookTube to participate in all the things, and then you get overwhelmed and burn out. That's what happened to me last fall. I was burnt out for like months. It was not good. A lot of people do. I think I'm more of a visual learner, so I have a hard time focusing on audiobooks, but I love it when I drive and now when I walk. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Kieran. Yeah, sorry. I'm like allergies right now. Fall weather starting. We saw it on BritBox. I think it might be on Prime too. But we have a subscription to BritBox and we watched it on there. And it is nice and creepy. Like the book. Like it just got this foreboding. It actually might be a little bit more creepy than the book just because you can see the really villainous characters. Not like scary creepy, but I think you know what I mean. You were on that? That's awesome. Yeah. Like last year, didn't you read The Importance of Being Earnest on a live sprint? I feel like it was. I haven't read that yet. I almost was going to read that this year with Sandy from Miss Reads a Lot because that's her Discord read. But then I had to read books that I actually chose for my classics TBR. There is so much. Victorian Christian fiction. I bet you're right, Lizzie. Huh. I'm sure there's plenty that are set in the Victorian era, but it'd be interesting to see if there's actually like ones that were written. I mean, a lot of Victorian books do have Christian themes. Like if you're reading like a Dickens book, there's going to be lots of Christian references, and faith was really important to a lot of people back then. So I think that there's a lot that would have faith elements. But I bet you that there's some that are actually set in Victorian time period but are written more modernly, so it would be a little easier to read. Dia's back. I'm looking forward to that video. I'm really behind on comments. I have actually watched more of your videos than it would appear to. But I watch videos a lot of times when I'm getting ready for the day. And so then I don't necessarily comment because it will play on my watch later playlist. And so then I don't always get to comment on all the things. Cranford. I've heard Cranford's really good. I have not read or seen her. I have The Importance of Being Earnest. I think. Oops, I just clicked the wrong thing. That's what I thought. I heard it's really funny. I don't love reading plays. I think I'd probably rather watch it, but I love Oscar Wilde. Only read like one thing. I keep like clicking on the wrong thing. I'm sorry, guys. Ooh, you're an outlier. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, I've heard that Cranford doesn't have much of a plot. Was Cranford her first book? I think it was. Maybe. A Wild Convert. My first Oscar Wilde was Picture of Dorian Gray last fall. So I am reading some more Oscar Wilde next month. At this point, I've told you everything on my TBR, so much for me not giving everyone on this live a sneak peek. I'm reading some short stories with Dia. Bye, Katie. I will sprint in just a minute. We're just all chatty tonight. I love it. Bye, Amy. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for joining us. So fun. Oh. Why do I always forget that's Victorian? I think 'cause it doesn't feel Victorian to me because we borrow so much from Treasure Island for like all of pirates in entertainment. It's amazing how influential that book has been. And I just did a video last week on like short stories that you should read in the fall, and I included Jekyll and Hyde on that list. And I'm like, that's another Robert Louis Stevenson that has greatly influenced and permeated our culture still to this day. So it was interesting to me. Good night, Penny. Thank you so much for coming tonight and hopping on. Glad you were here. Yeah, that checks out from what I've heard, but I do like those kind of books. So I think that I would probably like it. I need to give more of a chance. Oh, we have two who didn't like The Importance of Being Earnest. Okay, Adrian, I think you'll really like The Picture of Dorian Gray. I think that you will. I read it last year for October. And I haven't read The Importance of Being Earnest, as I have already mentioned, but I think that it's very different. It's not funny. Well, I mean, I guess there are moments that are witty, but it's very dark. I think you'd like it. Oh, that's awesome. Perfect. It's perfect October vibes. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, it would count as for October. I don't know why I forget Robert Louis Stevenson works for that. That seems like a good call for something that's more slice of life. I am too, Lizzie. I'm not, when it's super plot based, a lot of things can be happening, but I usually don't care about what's happening to the characters unless it's more character driven. So a lot of times I prefer slower books. Of course, there are exceptions to that. There always are. There's not that many, only two out of everyone here, as opposed to like 80 million of you who loved it. Not 80 million, but a lot of people. But I had actually never heard anyone say that they didn't like it. So, two people here that didn't. Okay, we should probably do some more sprints, I think. So, maybe at 50, it gives us 2 minutes. And then we'll go to 20, which was actually the last one I did. That's funny. Okay. I can just use the last banner and then I don't have to type another one. So we'll go at 50 and then go till 20 and then we'll say goodnight. This has been so fun. Ah. Oh, nice. Nice. I'm wondering when War and Peace was published. Because I was talking to I don't remember what year, if it's in the Victorian frame, even though it's not Victorian England. Because I was talking to Christy because we're about ready to start Demons by Dostoevsky together. And she was like, does that count as Victober? Because it was written during the Victorian time period, just in Russia, not England. That's why I'm wondering, because that's kind of funny. We'll come for you, Rainy. I love you. It's okay. Whose live were we on? I feel like it was Krista's live, and someone was talking about it was a long time ago. But someone was talking about hating Jane Austen, and Rainey and I were like, no, actually, Krista was too. But it was funny. I feel like it's hard to read plays too. I feel like it's more entertaining to watch a play than to read a play. I feel the same way about Shakespeare, although I do like Shakespeare, but I like watching the plays more than I like reading them because they were intended to be watched rather than read, you know? Yeah, you can do it. Okay. I'm glad you remember that, Rainy. It stuck with me. Okay. Okay, okay. Oh, you liked Dorian Gray. Cool, cool. Alright, it's 50 now. So we're gonna go ahead and do our last sprints. We'll sprint until 20 and then come back and say goodnight. Happy reading. Hello. End of last sprint. Oh, and Glenda left. Thanks for coming, even though you're probably gone as I'm saying that. That's what I thought. I thought it was somewhere in that range, like 1850s or 1860s. I just couldn't remember for sure. Just keeps telling everyone I'm famous. It's so funny. Oh my goodness. An animal had a word. I mean, a vampire's a creature, right? I'd say you could stretch that. But I am the queen of stretching things for prompts. um, 5 chapters. Amazing. I'm so glad you were here tonight. Sounds like you got some good reading in. I am now, I can't remember what page I was on when I started, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so bad at the directions on this. 500 pages in, so I'm well over halfway at this point. So making progress. Got more reading done tonight than I have in a while. We can count that as productive. I hope everything's going well with your mom. That was a good conversation. Aren't you supposed to be going on a trip with her this week? That's fine. That's still I said they were reading sprints, but I should have said slash productivity sprints. Because some of it has been more about productivity than reading, and that's totally fine. Can't wait to see what you're planning to read in October. That's fun. Yay, Krista. That's awesome. I have a video I have to edit for Tuesday, but I'm going to try to do it tomorrow morning. I probably could have done it tonight, but I didn't. I'm going to try to do it tomorrow morning before we go to Tennessee. Go book shopping. In case there are any of you that weren't here at the beginning, I'm going book shopping tomorrow. I'm pumped. It's going to be really fun. I'm probably going to vlog that actually because that's fun. Everyone loves a book haul. Good progress. That's what I thought. I couldn't remember. Well, I knew you were trying to make sure that you could get the day off from work that you needed for first. So cool. It's awesome. I would say that's productive. I loved how short the chapters were in War and Peace because it made me feel like I was making significant progress, even if it was just a couple of pages. There's something about saying like I read a chapter as opposed to being like I read 2 pages, even if it was the same thing. So in a book that size, anything that encourages your progress is good. How are you enjoying Pickwick Papers so far? I can't remember if you said you were just starting it or if you're a little farther into it. I've heard it's really funny. Oh, yay, Lizzie. You could probably finish that tonight. Unless you're going to bed. If not, then you could totally finish it tomorrow. Oh, good. Good. I'm glad. That will be a fun little trip. Oh, good. What are you reading to the kids right now? I'm curious. Claire has been staying up later this school year than she used to. Which it's funny because she never actually goes to bed at a reasonable time. That's one of the joys of homeschooling is that she just stays up late and reads and then just wakes up later. She would never survive if she had to get up to get on the bus at like 6:30. I think her best friend who lives down the street gets on the bus at 6:30 in the morning. She would never survive. That's one of the joys. Oh, cool. I'm looking forward to hear what your final thoughts are. Yay. That'll be fun. I've finished 1 book this month. and like 3 mangas, and that's it. Ugh. Stone of Farewell. I haven't heard of that. I don't think. It's an interesting title. I like it. Okay. Yeah. I love Dickens. Dickens is one of my all-time favorite authors. I'd say that, yeah, well, I don't think I've ever read a book by him that I've super disliked. I have a book that I read by him that was disappointing because it was most people's favorites. But I do really like Dickens. So even like a lesser Dickens is still pretty high. Kind of like when I was talking I was talking about Emma, and Emma is one of my least favorite Jane Austens. Maybe I don't know if it's my least favorite. It's second to last, if not last. But still, like, it's a 4-star book, and I loved reading it. So, it's one of those authors where it's like even my least favorite is still head and shoulders over a lot of other books. So it's fine. Post story. Oh, yay! Thank you so much. So excited to read a few more with you. A few is probably much more sustainable for me considering how many buddy reads I have going on next month. But I can fit in some short stories for sure. I'm excited. Oh, okay. Is that like the dragon throne? Dragon. Okay, look right there. Dragon bone chair. I was thinking dragon throne, dragon bone chair. Yes. Okay. So that's why I'm like, wait. Don't know what that is, but like it did. I don't know. It sounded vaguely familiar. So that's probably why. I still want to read that. You made it sound so good. Sounds like something I would really like. Oh, the Vanderbeekers. I read the first book and I haven't read any more. Boxcar Children, Mary Poppins. Oh, that's fun. You're reading so many different books right now. I haven't done bedtime stories with Claire for a long time. Just read school books lately, which right now we're reading Mrs. Frisby and the Rats of Nim, Robinson Crusoe, some Shakespeare, and some other like history books, I think. Those are like my main literature books now. That's one of the joys. And you don't have to get them up that early. Wonderful flexibility of homeschooling. I love it so much. Yes, that is a good short story. It's not my favorite of her short stories. I think I just don't love the ending of it, but she writes that kind of eerie setting so well. I actually just did a video of like short stories you need to read in the fall, and there are 2 Daphne du Maurier stories on there. The Birds is not either of them, though. But I do still really like The Birds. I love Daphne du Maurier. Yeah. Well, dude, you're reading War and Peace for school. You're good, Adrian. I figured your reading would slow down so much considering all the reading you have academically going on. I've heard great things about A Monster Calls. And I don't know anything at all about what it's about, and I want to keep it that way because I've heard it's really easy to spoil that one. But I know that it's a tearjerker. I know Mrs. Frisby's so fun, isn't it? Good night, Krista. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. That means a lot for my first sprints. This has been a lot less scary than I thought it would be. I was like, oh my gosh, I've never done this before. What if I mess everything up or everything crashes or no one shows up and I'm just sitting there by myself? None of that happened. It was all super fun. Totally want to do it again sometime. Bye, Katie. Thank you so much for joining. Good night. Good night. Yes. Yes. That is one of my favorite things about homeschooling, for sure. I was homeschooled from 3rd grade on. Otherwise, I would have had the same issue because I was always staying up too late reading, usually Nancy Drew books at that age, under the covers, because I had to know what happened. Yeah, so fun. It's been a good fit for us too. We love it. Love it. We love it. Oh, exciting. Is it for your read along that you're hosting? How fun. Actually, I think I saw you do a poll for it. It's gonna depend when you do it because I don't stay up that late, but I'll try to jump in on some of them for you. Yeah, I know it's early for you. It's late for me though, especially since I got up at 5:30 this morning, but I think you're a pretty early bird too. Yeah, you just said you just said it's still almost your bedtime, even though it's only 7:30. It's funny. I will do it again. I don't know when, but I'm excited. It's been really fun. Thank you, Naomi, and thank you for coming. I'm glad you showed up and you got some things done. It was productive. Yeah, I'm looking forward to reading that at some point. It's actually been on my TBR for quite a long time. It's been on my radar for a couple years now. So I'm late to the game, but it's okay. I'll get to it eventually. Yeah, we should do reading sprints together sometime. That'd be super fun. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go to bed too. Office tomorrow and Friday. Look at you being in the office like a normal person instead of living your beautiful at home life. Oh, oh, good, Stephanie. I'm so glad. Thank you so much for coming. So I think I'm gonna hop off too and go to bed so I can get some good rest and enjoy going to McKay's tomorrow and getting all kinds of books. And I will vlog it and I will share it with you. That will probably be my Thursday video. So, anyways, thank you so much, guys, for coming tonight. It has just been such a blast to hang out with you guys and read together and all that kind of stuff. So, thank you for coming. And hopefully, we can do this again really soon. Good night.